Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite girl Fever here. So guys, today we are going to be learning how to cut and sew a Milkmade bustier with a gathered dress. If this sounds like something you're interested in, let's head to the tutorial proper. So this fabric is what we are going to be using. I have each of it to be 1 yard, that is 2 yards in total. So we are going to first of all draft on our pattern before we transfer to our fabric. So I will mark from my shoulder to my breast point, which is 10 inches. I will also mark from my shoulder to my under bust, which is 13 inches, and then I will mark to my waistline, which is 16 inches. All right, so for me, I would have my own to have a basque effect added down, so I'll be adding extra 3 inches to my waist measurements. Okay, now I will go ahead and rule it out. After ruling it out, we will label it our breast point, under bust, waistline. Now from here, I will go ahead and impute my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which will give us 8. I will mark it down there, and then at this point here, I will get my chest measurement, which is 7.5. That is my round bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches allowance. Okay, so we'll go ahead and connect it like this. Now after connecting it, this is now going to be serving as our chest line. I will mark it here. Now we are not using this part. Just note that I am just getting it so that we will know how the process is going. Okay, now from here, I will just correspond to make sure I have 8 inches. I will go ahead and connect it from this point to meet the chest line like this. All right, so the next thing we are going to do is to come here and get our neck wideness. So at this point, I will do the 3 by 3 inches basic neckline. So the wideness and the length is 3 by 3, and then we will go ahead and connect it just like this. All right, now after getting it, the next thing we're going to do is to come to this our armhole and then come down by 1 inch, which is going to be serving as our shoulder slope. I will connect it to meet our neck like this. All right, so after connecting it, the next thing we are going to do is to come to this our armhole here, and then we'll go ahead and divide it into 2 with our tape. Now after dividing it, this is what we have, and then from this point we'll come in by 1/2 inch. So at this our chest line here, at this point now, we are going to be marking our round bust divided by 4 this time around, and then we are going to go ahead and connect it just like this. Now after that, the next thing we're going to do is to get our dart intake, and to achieve that, we are going to be dividing our nipple to nipple by 2. Mine gave me 4 inches. I will mark the 4 inches and then extend it up to our breast point, and then I will connect it like this. Now coming to this down part here, I will come out here by 1/2 inch, and then I will come out by 1/2 inch. All we have to do is just to go ahead and connect it to meet our under bust. So just pay attention to how I will be connecting it. So I'll connect it from here up to this point, and then do the same thing for the other side as well. So you want to go ahead and do this. So if you want yours to have a waist snatch, you can do this at your under bust and your waistline. All right, now the next thing I am going to do is that from this our under bust measurement, I will come up by 1 inch. This is for us to get our Milkmade effect. So I will come up by 1 inch, and then from that 1 inch, I am going to use my pattern master and then just curve it out like this. You can see the way I placed it. Okay, just give it a curve from our under bust straight to meet the 1 inch that we came up by. Now to get the other side of our cup, we are going to come to this point. Remember, we divided our nipple to nipple by 2, so I will come out by 1/2 of it, which is 4 inches. Now from that 4 inches, remember that at this point here where we had our armhole curve, we divided our round bust by 4, so mine is 9 inches. Then that 9 inches, from that point I will place my curve rule like this, so you can actually use your free hand to achieve this. So from this point here, I will go ahead and curve it in to meet the other part of the cup like this. Okay, Now you can see we already have the first part of our Milkmade. Now what we're going to do is that from this our chest line, I really do not want mine to be too exposed. I'll come up by 1 inch. But if you don't want yours, you can see that my chest line is already 7 inches because I don't want it to be too open. So you can leave yours at that, or you can come down, whichever one you want. So all I did just to curve it into this point. So at the end of the day, my cleavage, I won't have my cleavage showing so much. Then we'll go ahead and curve it. Now we're going to now go ahead and impute our basic bodice. Now my round bust, and then I'll add extra 2 inches seaming allowance, and then at our under bust I will put my under bust measurements, and then I will add the same 2 inches seaming allowance. Now my under bust and my waist measurements is the same thing. Then I will come here and impute my waist measurements. I will check the dart intake here. At this point is 1/2 inch. I will include it, and then I will add extra 1.5 inches here. Then at this my basque effect, I am going to be making use of my hip measurement. Now I will divide my hip into 4. It will give me 10 inches. I will go ahead and mark it down here. Now after marking it down there, I will add extra 1.5 inch allowance. You notice that I did not check the dart intake. That's because I want that place to be a bit snatched. So I will go ahead and connect our basic bodies like this. So you go ahead and connect yours just like what I'm doing here. So guys, after connecting our basic bodies, remember I told you that I want mine to have a basque effect. I don't want it to start directly from my waistline. So all I did is that from that point I came up by 2 inches. Now from that 2 inches that I came up, I am going to just go ahead and slant it in, just give it a slight curve into the center front. Just look at what I'm doing. Just do exactly what I'm doing here, and you're good to go. Now in case if you want yours to be so pronounced, you can go ahead and extend it by 3 inches, by 4 inches, 5 inches. So then if you don't want yours to have a basque effect, all you just need to do is stop yours at that waist measurement. Okay, just stop it at this waist measurement. There's no need of adding extra inches at the down. I hope you understand. For me, I want mine to have a bit of basque effect. All right, so that's why I came down by 3.5 inches. So you can do as much as you want yours. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is to just go ahead and cut through. All right, now after I've cut through, I placed another pattern paper for us to get the back. So all I'm doing here is that I came in by 2 inches, which is going to be 7 as our zipper allowance, and then I will go ahead and trace this out, and then we will pin it down. Okay, now at this point here, we are going to be eliminating zip bulginess at the back. So before that, we'll go ahead and get our back neck. So for this dress we are trying to recreate, if you notice that the back of the neck is very low, so depending on how low you want yours to be, you can go ahead and achieve yours. So mine, I came down by 3 inches. Now from that 3 inches that we came out by, I will be coming out by 1.5 inches at that point. Then when I get to my under bust measurement, I will come out by 1 inch. All right, at this point here, I'll come out by 1 inch. The same thing applies to my waistline. All I'm doing here is for us to eliminate every zip bulginess at the back. Okay, so when I get to my basque area, I will go ahead and come out by 1.5 inch. So all we did here is that at that breast point area where our back is going to start from, I did 1.5, 1.5. I hope you understand. At the center where we have our waist, I came out by 1 inch. And then at the full length, I came out by 1.5. And then at the upper part, I also came out by 1.5. I hope we get it. Now, after doing that, we will go ahead and cut through. So at this point here, I will go ahead and use the front pattern to trace out the dart, and then I will raise it up here to get the point where the dart started from. Okay, and then I will go ahead and separate the front and the back. Okay, so after separating it, I will go ahead and now mark out our dart intake for the back. So this corset or this Milkmade we are trying to do, I am not going to be doing a visible dart. All right, so this dart I'm going to do is that we are going to be folding it inside. So don't worry, you understand what I meant by we're going to be folding it inside. Okay, so this is all it simply means. We'll fold it in like this. I will tape it down and then we'll go ahead and cut on our fabric. Okay, now what we're going to do is that we're still going to bring out our front pattern for us to know where we are going to be taking our back neckline from. So I'll place it at this point here. You can see that the front waist and the back waistline are the same point, so I'll just go ahead and trace out the other this side, and then we'll take it out again. Now from that point, we are now going to go ahead and just give it a curve. You can see the way I placed my ruler. Just go ahead and give it a curve from this point into the neckline that 3 inches, just like this. You can see what I did here. This is really easy to grab, so we're going to now go ahead and just cut through. All right, so this is what we have. Okay, all right, so the same thing applies to the front one. So we'll go ahead and cut it out and then still fold our darts. Now we're going to be doing the method called slash and spread method. So at this point here, I will come in by 1.5 inches. I will rule it down straight. Do the same thing, come out here, mark 1.5 inches. So depending on how full or depending on how busty you are, you can come out by 2 inches, you can come out by 2.5. All right, so after doing this, we'll go ahead and label it and then we'll go ahead and slash our pieces. So guys, if you have watched this tutorial to this point, I hope you have clicked on the subscribe button. If you have not, please do well to click on the subscribe button. Now the next thing we are going to do is that this is a different fresh pattern paper that I have here. Now this number 1 that we have, I will place it at this point. You can see that at that point I also ruled out a straight line with my marker, which is going to be serving as our guide. So we'll pin the first one at this point here, and then we'll also come out by 2 inches. So at this point, depending on how full you want yours to be, like I said before, you can do spread as much as you want, but for me I'm doing 2 inches. So I will do this, extend it till I get to the number 5, which is the highest slash and spread that we have, the one we slashed. So we'll do this across to all of the papers. All right, so guys, after placing it down around to this point, we are going to go ahead and trace it out. Now after tracing it out like what I'm doing here, we'll go ahead and cut, and this is going to be our new cup for our bustier. So thank you so much for watching. On our next tutorial, we're going to be using these pieces to cut out on our fabric, and we're going to be joining it. So please do well to click on the subscribe button if you're yet to subscribe. Turn on your notification bell so that I be the first person to be notified, and please do not forget to go green. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys on our next tutorial. Bye for now.